and welcome back. I'm Sierra with Simple Life Rich, and it's good to be back with another update on my partial dreadlocks. For those of you that have been subscribed for a while, welcome back. It's good to have you as always. I appreciate you stopping by and tuning in with me for all of my updates. If you're new to this channel, welcome too. It's good to have you. Maybe you'll consider subscribing if you see something that you like. But to fill you in a little bit, I do have a partial set of dreadlocks. I have 18 dreadlocks just in the lower half of the back of my head back here. 8 of them are 4 months old and 10 of them are 16 months old or so. And this update is primarily going to be on the 4-month-old dreadlocks that I have that are the newest. So with this update, honestly, there's not a whole lot going on different at 4 months than there was going on at 3 months. While there are more of the same changes, there are not a whole lot of new changes happening. So I hope this video doesn't sound too redundant, but I definitely wanted to stop by and at least give you a sneak peek at what they were looking like. And that way you could see any length differences that were happening, how much they're shrinking, and things like that. On the subject of shrinkage, I guess the biggest question would be, are they still shrinking? My new dreadlocks are 4 months old, and they are the top row that I have back here. So these are all older, and then these up here up top are newer. And the answer is yes, they are definitely still shrinking. So my loose hair comes down to about mid-waist or so. My newer dreadlocks come down, you know, at a midpoint between that, and then my older dreadlocks stop a little bit shorter than that. But you can tell that we're really getting into less length difference than we have. And I know I keep saying that month after month after month, but that's because when I originally installed these newer dreadlocks, I mean, there was like 4 or 5 or 6 inches length difference between the two ages. And so now that these are about 4 months old, they have definitely shrunk up as expected, and they're really not tremendously longer than the others anymore. And a lot of their length, honestly, is the loose hair at the ends. So while this is the length of the dreadlocks themselves here, I will say that anything after about this point is all loose, fine hair, just because I like loose, wispy tips, and it got so thin at the ends I couldn't dreadlock it all the way out to the end without like breaking hair and stuff, and I didn't want to do that. So, with that being said, a lot of this length, while it might be loose hair, they should still eventually all work out to be about even length in the end. And that's where we are. The next part I think I'll touch on is the budding stage. So budding is something I first commented on, I think 2 videos back. And it's kind of that stage where your dreadlocks first start to form their own knots and start to puff out with a little bit of thickness. And it's the first real signs that your dreadlocks are maturing. And so mine, of course, are going through this stage. They started at about the 2-month mark, and here we are at the 4-month mark. So they've been steadily maturing this whole time. Honestly, that's what a lot of shrinkage is. When your hair is shrinking up, it's actually getting thicker through the length of the dreadlock, and so that's where all of your length really goes. But for example, like this dreadlock here, it's really gotten fairly uniform throughout the length. It's still got some real thin portions of the dreadlock right here at the end, and then I have the loose hair that starts from there. But this one has really done a pretty good job of budding all the way out to about right here in the lock. And then up here I have loose root. So all of this is loose root that is loose and flimsy from the scalp there. And I have chosen just to let that stay out and stay loose over time. It makes my scalp happier. It's less work. All in all, good things. But back to showing you what some of these newer dreadlocks look like. I will comment that, of course, I still have some locks, or one in particular, that's really not doing anything as far as getting any thicker. So this one here is on my left side, and it is located right behind the ear, which is where kind of my thinnest hair and most fine hair is located. And this one is definitely taking the most amount of time to start that budding process. He's just now barely starting to get a little bit thicker right here, but I doubt you guys can even see that. It's something that I can feel with my fingers. Whereas last time I showed you this one next to him, and he's a little frizzy. Let's see if I can roll him up a little bit to get some of those loose hairs to attach to themselves. But you can see with this one, hopefully, where he's got a nice budded section right through here, and then the rest of it starts to get a little thinner after that point. Moving around the head, this one's got an even longer section of budding. So this one actually buds about out to this point here, and then the loose hair starts down here. But right in here is where the dreadlocks gotten thicker, started to mature. It's kind of that process that I'm calling, that phrase I'm using, budding. This is what I'm trying to show you here, is some of this thicker hair right there at the base. Let's see. Now I will say that the dreadlocks in the back of my hair have definitely started budding and getting thicker spots faster. I think that's because my hair is thicker in the back and it's easier for the knots to form when your hair is thicker. The general rule is that thicker dreadlocks start to mature faster, where thinner dreadlocks, like this one behind my ear, may take longer to start dreadlocking, but it will mature down the length faster once it starts. That's the theory. I don't know how perfect of a science it is, but we'll see. This is another one here in the back. I've got a ton. I'm going to try flipping around for this for you. But this is another one that's got a really good section of budding to it here. And overall, this is just how my dreadlocks are looking at this point. I'll try to get all this loose hair out of the way there. Now this top row is the row that is all newbie locks. And then these down here are my more mature, I think these are like 16 months old. They're 4 months older than a year, so yeah, that would make them 16 months old. And then these are the newer ones here on top. But yeah, aside from some shrinkage, some extra budding, a little bit more further along the process of maturing dreadlocks, not much has changed in the last month. So my last month update at 3 months talked about a lot of the same things, so that's why I've kept this video a little bit shorter. I don't want to bore you guys, but I don't want you to feel like I'm not including you in the things that are happening along the way either. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this update. These are my dreadlocks at 4 months and also 16 months old. If you've liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up down below. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. If you're on a dreadlock journey and you have any questions or you just want to tell somebody about it, I'm here for you and I'd love to hear all about it. If you want to stay in tune with any of my future updates, then consider subscribing. I put out a dreadlock update about once a month, at least that's the process here lately, just because not much has been changing very quickly with them. But sometimes I do slip in videos every other week, so stay tuned and stay subscribed. Hit that notification bell if you want notifications whenever I publish, and I'll be back soon. Until next time, guys, take care, be well, and keep it simple.